Amardeep, can you not present right now? I will just show the countdown.
I'm just one moment, just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible, Amardeep.
Okay, it's a PowerPoint presentation which is open on.
Yeah, Amardeep. Can you just stop the screen share? We are live right now, so I'll just show the countdown.
Okay, 1 minute actually, just a moment. 1 minute. Just a moment. The option to disconnect got hanged. Can you just take over the control from
Yeah,
your
yeah.
side?
Sure.
And one thing, like who will be starting? Like you will be introducing us again.
Yeah, I'll be introducing you guys.
Okay.
He saying check the page. I have provided a link in the chat section.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of TechStream. I hope I am audible. Let me check. I think I am audible. Can anybody let me know in
Yeah.
the. Yeah, okay, thank you. Awesome. So, hey, everyone, welcome back to day 3 of TechStream. And we are extremely happy to welcome you back on board with us. So, what is TechStream? If you have been watching us for the past 2 days, you might already know. But if you haven't, if you are here for the first time, then we are organizing a bunch of cool activities and events to help you guys out. Like, for example, we did JavaScript and React.js yesterday, and today we have a bunch of other activities and events as well. So for this day, for day 3, we have planned Git and GitHub, an overview of Git and GitHub, and like jumping into open source. And after that, we also have cloud computing, then we have Azure Functions, and we also have Microsoft Bot Framework. So that's a lot of sessions together packed, and we are trying our best to organize everything perfectly for all of you so that you guys stay motivated, stay active. And so that is what we will be doing today. For the past 2 days, we have also been organizing, just JavaScript and React for day 2. For day 1, we had a bunch of amazing speakers joining in with us and sharing their insights into how, inspiring you guys to get job ready, and also how you can be relevant in this software world. So that is what we are trying to do, and today is the final session and the final day of TechStream, and we are really, not really happy to hear that, but that's how it is. This is the final day of TechStream. So we are very happy and glad that all of you joined, and we would love to thank you. The whole team of MSP TechStream would love to thank all of you that were very supportive the entire time, and we really, really love the amazing support you gave us. So without any further ado, we will begin with our very first session. And also, okay, let me begin with the first session. Till the time Amardeep gets ready, I'll just announce one more thing. So the first session will be taken by Amardeep Singh. Now, he's Oracle Cloud Certified. He is also a core member of DSC. DSC, which you guys don't know, is Developer Student Club. And he is also a cloud enthusiast. So he would be talking about cloud computing today, and I think he'd be the perfect person who could, help you understand what is cloud computing. So I'll give it over to Amardeep, and he'll be presenting you with an amazing session today. So Amardeep, can you hear me? Yeah, I think it's being presented right now. His screen is being presented. Okay, so just one more announcement before Amardeep starts. So we are really happy and excited to start with this session. But before jumping in, I would like to make a very small announcement that we like every other session, we organize a Kahoot quiz at the end. So we have a Kahoot quiz for this session as well. But don't take it to we actually don't do this for the winners. We like to do it lightheartedly, just to play, and so that everyone gets comfortable with what they are learning. And we also keep it open for like an hour after the session ends, and don't keep it stretched for a day or two, because we want them to apply things which they have learned in this particular session. So we just keep it open for an hour, and this is not for the winners. We don't show them the winners or something. This is just to have a competitive spirit so that everyone can enjoy and learn. Okay, so I wanted to have that clear. Now Amardeep, I think you can start with the session.
Okay, am I audible to you?
Yes, you're audible.
So one more time, welcome to the day 3 of the tech stream. So this is Amardeep Singh. I'm from second year, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar National Institute of Technology, Jalandhar. Currently, I'm pursuing my dual degree, Bachelor's of Technology in Electronics and Communication, as well as minor degree in Computer Science and Engineering. Apart from coding, I'm a cloud enthusiast. So as in the college phases, like cloud computing is bit uncommon. So we will be revealing about the cloud computing. So I'm going to discuss a SEOps part. So as you guys can see on your screen, cloud computing, and I written IT trendsetter. So I will be discussing in a few moments why I had written the IT trendsetter. So today I'm going to just take a cloud fundamental session, and after Git and GitHub, Ganesh will be taking a session on Azure Functions, which you can see how we can implement actual cloud thing and to develop integrated solution. So let me start. topics to be discussed. So firstly, we are going to discuss cloud. So what is cloud? Actually, cloud is that variable of some programmatic language of our brain, which we by default set the value, like cloud is storage. We all know cloud is storage. Like we said the one thing, like cloud is only G drive, cloud is only OneDrive, cloud is only something in which we can store the object. We know data is being stored in the cloud, but we don't know where it is stored. So what actually cloud is, we're going to unreveal it soon. So after that, we will be discussing why cloud. Why do we need cloud? So let me take an example. Suppose you are being selected in Amazon and you are called in some another state where you don't know. So you thought to buy a car to go office daily and come back from office to your flat or to your PG. So you calculated the overall cost and say it's be approximately 15 lakh. And on another on the same time, your friends say, why you are going to buy a car, it's too quite costly. So what you can do is you can hire Ola and Uber. Ola and Uber are quite active in this state, where you can do the same thing. You can hire them from the rent, and you need to pay only when you need to travel. So when you calculated the overall cost, instead of 15 lakh, it comes approximately 1 to 2 lakh for a year, and it's bit cheaper. So till now, let's suppose cloud is pursuing the same function as Ola and Uber are doing for us. For the sake, let's assume a cloud is working like Ola and Uber and providing the services for us. Another example we can take of cloud is, which is far beyond storage. Let's take the example of Amazon.com. On the festive or the Black Friday sale offers, Amazon offers its quite very high services, like price are quite down. So what people are going to do is they are going to rush upon a particular site. So number of users per minute increases very highly. So to prevent that, Amazon need to scale up their infrastructure. They are not going to buy a particular infrastructure for a particular day. They are having their own cloud AWS. They upgrade their services, like they are auto scalable. They upgrade their services after the sale is over. The services are down to match the cost. So after that, we will be discussing virtualization and cloud models. Cloud models we will be see in a while. Virtualization, like I'm going to discuss about virtualization. Virtualization, the word in itself means virtual. Virtual means the thing which is not present physically. So similar the thing is, for example, you need to do a task for which you need a very high computing PC, and you don't have right now. So you thought to buy it, which again a very costly option. You will not go for that. And what you thought another thing is, like someone is having the PC which I required. I hire the PC for a while and pay him for the PC usage. So this is like a virtualization. So after that, we will be discussing an overview of AWS, Azure, and OCI. AWS is Amazon vendor, and Azure is Microsoft's vendor, and OCI is Oracle's vendor. I'm going to tell, like in the end of this presentation, we'll be having 2 or 3 services of OCI. Please don't confuse in that. And in meanwhile, we will be having a hands-on on AWS. I choose 2 services which are very basics. IAM, Identity and Access Management, and S3, Simple Storage Service. We'll be discussing in soon. So next is, as I tell, we're going to discuss some basic overview of services, like compute service, storage service is there, networking is there, security is there, IAM is there, cost analysis is there. So one a moment, I'm going to show you my console. This is the AWS console. Like you can see, compute services are there, then storage services are there, database services are there, like that. Many services are there. So let's land to this meme page. You can see in second picture, like outsourced infrastructure. Like I said, till now, let's consider the services of cloud like Ola and Uber. So that's what we think cloud is doing the function. Like this is cloud computing working like Ola and Uber. Outsourced infrastructure means like we are buying our own cars. Will be paying heavy charges for that. That's like outsourced infrastructure. No, apart that, no, don't consider status like for that. And another currently about cloud we can see is like we are pulling the documents to the cloud for a storage like a G drive. Now, as the recent news from Jalandhar, Punjab, that due to the less air pollution, the mountain range is clearly visible. So kind of that things we all are seeing the memes on Instagram as well. Due to less air pollution, the data stored in clouds are visible. So that's quite funny if you get to know that. So let's move ahead and unreveal what cloud is. So cloud is on-demand shared pool of configurable resources such as VM, database, etc., which can be easily scaled up or scaled down. Please have a look on 2-3 words that I bolded and underlined. It's on demand. Like I said on demand because everything is on demand. If we need Ola and Uber, that's why we book the cab. We don't book just to check that is it working or not. When we want to go somewhere, we book the cab. It means we need that, we demand that. So cloud is purely on demand. Easily scale up means, for example, if we need to book 2 or 3 cabs, we can scale up or scale down as per our convenience. So let's getting ahead. Another definition of cloud is like cloud computing can be defined as delivering computer powers, a service over network rather than physical having compute resources at custom location. Like the thing we consider the previous example, we are having a car and on the same side we are having Ola and Uber. Like Ola and Uber are not our physical car, but they are owned by someone else and we rented this. In the similar way, the IT companies work. Suppose let's consider an example of a service-based company which just deliver the service as they get the project from another company. So what they are going to do is either they are going to scale up their infrastructure or scale down their infrastructure as far as the need for the project. But scaling up and down is not a bit easy job. It's quite tough. Like renting quite heavy infrastructure. We'll be seeing in upcoming slide like infrastructure. Infrastructure may consist of load balancers, servers, databases that's are out of cost. So some popular cloud vendors are AWS. AWS is Amazon's cloud vendor. Next in row is we are having Microsoft Azure. It's Google Cloud Platform. It's OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. It's Oracle's console. So each and every cloud vendors offer its certification, and right now Oracle had made its certification portal free. Meanwhile, you can, if you know about the cloud, you can book the exam and take away. So why cloud? Why we need cloud? In this question, we will get the answer. Why in the front slide I had written the IT trend setter. So let's consider this example. So see, the graph is of the working of a company of a particular project. In a very first picture, inactivity period is written. Suppose it's a current time, like a COVID situation is occurring over the world. So all the offices are physically being shut and the whole work is being done virtually. So let's see if a company is developing its own infrastructure and the need of a company is constant. Like you can see my cursor over the line of the graph. And if the sudden inactivity period is here, like COVID, it's unannounceable period, like up till when it goes, up till when the office is open. This is the inactivity period. So at this stage, the infrastructure which are provided at the office is just ideal. They are just waste of money. So this is the first example in which we are having on and off workload. Meanwhile, the infrastructure is ideal. And in second picture, we are seeing the infrastructure need is increasing exponentially, not exponentially, just increasing time to time. So the successful services need to grow, scale, keep growing without growing in a big IT challenge, and can't be provision hard and we can't provision the hardware very fast enough. As I said, managing hardware is not bit easy. So in the third example, we are having the unpredictable bursting. For example, the need of the company is constant and in sudden it rises and again it decreases. Suppose if company to meet this level increases its infrastructure, then at that moment it's okay. But after that, it will be purely waste of the money. And in fourth one, we are having a constant, not a constant, we are having ups and downs in the company requirements. So this is a good solution. Like if we get to know about solution, like you can see my cursor moving, like if the demand increases, we can up the services. If the demand is decreasing, we can down the services. So in the picture one, it's the inactivity period, that's sudden workload. And after that, second picture is of growing very fast. And the third picture of is unpredictable bursting. And in fourth, it's predictable bursting. So this is what we discussed earlier. The companies are using a self-provision based service. So the red line which you can see on your screen is the demand of the company. Suppose you can see my cursor. If a company demand is very high, we don't have infrastructure. You can see the yellow line is bit below than red. If we meet the infrastructure at this moment where the lines intersect, and after that the infrastructure is growing but the need is decreases, and in that orange period it's over provision, means the infrastructure is not needed but it's present, that's totally out of money. So similar in this, if the infrastructure need is low and the demand decreases, again there is the lack of infrastructure. And if we increase the infrastructure and suddenly demand decrease, again this is not a proper way. Like this, if we increase infrastructure as a pre-requirement and the requirement is not too much, you can see the cursor, this is a very huge demand. So this is a totally waste of money. So what if we get something which exactly follows the red line? This is what exactly cloud is. So you can see as the demand increases, we are increasing the cloud infrastructure. As the demand decreasing, we are decreasing the cloud infrastructure. So this is what cloud computing is. So now I guess you guys you can get the answer why we need cloud. Firstly, it lowers the infrastructure cost. Second, that is improved performance. Like we don't need to care about a particular things like we are managing the infrastructure. We don't need to hire separate team to manage the infrastructure, etc. Fewer maintenance issue is there. Like earlier, if we are provisioning the infrastructure by ourselves, we need again to manage the same. But now it's the responsibility of the vendor to manage the same. After that is instant software update. For example, let's take example of a public cloud, say Google Drive. If Google Drive want to update something, they update in their admin part, not in all our phones in which Google Drive is being installed or pre-installed. So after that, backups and recovery, we'll be discussing at the end of slide about backups and recovery. After that, performance and scalability, as you guys seen in the previous graph, we can easily scale up or scale down in the cloud. So increased storage capacity, it's a part of scalability. After that, increased data safety. The fact lies in the thing that we don't know where the data is stored. We know if we upload a picture on the Google Drive, it's stored in phone, but we don't know actually where it is physically stored. So the data is quite safe. We can trade for capex for opex. Capex is basically the capital expenditure and opex is operational expenditure. In this fact that capex, this is a capital expenditure. We are investing on the infrastructure, but instead of that, we are now expanding on the operations, and infrastructure is being laid down by the cloud and etc. There are a number of benefits. So we are going to discuss the various cloud models. So there are two types of model. Deployment model is there as well as a service model is there. So deployment model is of 4 types. So the very first is private cloud. Basically, private cloud is nothing but an interface that is provisioned for exclusive use of a single organization. Again, repeating, it's totally for the single organization, compressing the multiple consumers. It may be owned, managed, or operated by an organization or a third party, or some combination of another, of course, some another partners. After that, we are having a community cloud, like the cloud and the infrastructure is provisioned for exclusive use for a specific community or a group of consumers that have the shared concern. After that, we are having a public cloud. I'm not going to discuss about the public cloud. For example, Google Drive is there, OneDrive is there, iCloud is there, Dropbox is there, etc. We are having the hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but a combination of 2 or more models. It highly enables the application portability. So the 3 service model which we are going to discuss is IaaS, it's infrastructure as service. Next one is platform as service, and next is software as service. We'll be discussing in next slide what the 3 are. So this is what earlier companies follow. This is on-premises approach. On-premises, like starting from the bottom, networking, like how data is being networked in a data center, or how companies manage its own servers, like storage part is there, servers are there, virtualization is there, operating systems are there. Middleware means all the things which we need from on premises to on air. After that, runtime is there, like the things which we need to provision the runtime, data which we need to provision on runtime, and many more applications are there. This is the earlier approach. We need to manage each and everything, which is a bit tough job. So the next it come with infrastructure as service. In infrastructure as services like networking, storage, servers, virtualization is managed by it's written Microsoft. It may be by any vendor. The vendor, the cloud we are using, for example, AWS, then the things will be managed by Amazon Web Services. So this is not our responsibility. We only need to manage the things which are highlighted in the blue column. So this is only our responsibility. So in earlier on premises, we need to manage whole, but in this we only need to manage the 5 things, which is a bit easy job than that of earlier on premises. And next is platform as service. In platform as service, the cloud vendor manages everything except the data and application which we need to run on time. So this is platform as service. I guess the things is not bit clear right now, but it will be clear after 2 or 3 slides. Like I'm presenting an example of pizza as service, so you will be clear after that example. So next we are having a software as service. This is a third cloud model. In this, each and everything is managed by the cloud vendor. Our responsibility is just to run the thing which we required. So we'll be discussing it later. So like as I said, if you are not understanding the previous slide, you will come to know now. Like we are considering an example of pizza as service. So firstly, in the very first slide earlier we discussed about on premises. So here let's consider example of making pizza. So what we need is, for example, we need cheese, we need topping, we need tomato sauce, pizza dough, etc., etc. Earlier, if we want to eat pizza at home, we made at home. We need to manage this much thing, like firstly go to market, buy the things, etc., etc. This is the on-premises traditional approach. After that, what approach other we follow is we just buy these ready-made things which are highlighted in the green, and we manage the blue thing. This is infrastructure as services as offered by a cloud vendor. And let's another take example of platform as service. Platform as services is this, like the green things are being managed by a cloud vendor or a pizza vendor, and blue thing is only we need to manage. For example, like Domino's is there. In Domino's, what we need to do, if we order the home pizza, if we order the pizza at the home, everything will be managed by the Domino's. Only thing we need to arrange is we need to have a dining table, or we need to have a resource where we need to eat the pizza. After that, software as services is like dining out. For example, we ourselves go to the Domino's, and from our side, we are not using any resources. We are using each and every resource of Domino's itself. You can see each and everything is green, nothing is blue. So this is what software as service is. So the wonderful example of software as services is like a serverless model. We'll be discussing in future, or maybe discussed by the Ganesh. So moving to the next slide. So backups and recoveries. So as I earlier mentioned, one of the benefit of the cloud is backups and recovery. So we are having 4 terms on your screen. So firstly, geographic locations or regions. Basically, each cloud vendor is having its data centers or data warehouse or its proper set up in a particular geographic locations as well as the region. You can Google it out. For example, AWS, you can Google the various infrastructure or the geographic locations of AWS. You can see the world map will appear and highlights will be appear where the things are present, where the databases or where the data warehouses are present. These are the regions. For example, one of the database is present in US East. Let's take the example of the US East. US East is whole big area upon which the database is being present. After that, availability zone is there. Availability zone, we can call it AD. This is the term of OCI, Oracle Cloud Platform. This is something which is present in a particular region. Like in a particular region, we are having the various availability domains upon which data is being stored. And in each availability domain, there are 3 fault domains. Fault domains are something which are again present in the ADs. And in FDs, fault domains compartments are present. We'll be discussing the properties of the compartment soon. But one thing we understand is compartments is present in fault domains. Fault domain is present in the availability domain. Availability domains are present in the various regions, and each and everything are connected by the various load balancers or the various steps. For example, in a particular AD, three FDs are connected by a load balancer. Load balancer is nothing but you can relate from its word name. Load means the traffic, and balance means to distribute the traffic in a particular route. So suppose we are having a service which is distributed in the three FDs, and suddenly one FD go down, then load balancer will automatically get the notification that this FD is not working. We need to redirect the traffic to some else FD where the same data is being stored. So this is how the backups and recoveries are being provided by the fault domain. AD and FDs and compartment are the terms of the OCI. I just use randomly, in maybe in AWS or Azure it's called something else. So again repeating, compartments are present in FDs. Minimum three FDs consists of a AD, and a lot of ADs, a combination of AD forms a geographic region. So the various properties of the compartment, like we can see, is we can put each resource. Resource again means a VM, a database, or anything in a single compartment. We are separating each and everything virtually so that if one thing goes down, another thing is up. Also, we can say is resourcing that can interact with the other resources that may be present in other compartment. This is, as I said, we connect the load balancer. Suppose one AD or one FD goes down, and it get automatically redirected by load balancers to the another FDs. We can add or delete data at any FD or any AD at any moment. Resources can be moved from one compartment to another. Suppose compartment is present in FD, so if something goes wrong, we can even change the region of the FD. It's all present on the console. We can have a same data present in the multiple region to ensure that backup is there, recovery options is there, and compartments can be nested in each other to increase the scalability. Like in this way, we can increase the vertical scalability, and maximum thing in OCI is we can level up to the 6th level, and we also can analyze the cost for it and figure each and everything. Like the things which are mentioned in the arrows, we need to manage each and everything. Like a bare metal VM is a simple physical server which is present at any location. So we need to code on that. We need to run an app container, language runtime. We need to install the OS virtualization, etc. As we move ahead, like this is the example of infrastructure as services. As we move ahead, like dedicated VM host is there, like we don't need to manage. The example of the platform as service, and software as service consists of like functions. In AWS, Amazon's cloud vendor, it's AWS Lambda. This is the like infrastructure as code. Everything is being managed by the resource manager. We only need to input the code to get the output. So like this is the things like compute services, and I guess it's too heavy because too many new terms are there, like bare metal, dedicated host, virtual machines. No worry, when you will be viewing the documentation, you will get to know about each and everything. Like after that, we will be bit discussing about the storage services. Like this is the example of OCI. One thing I need to clear, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. I'm not going to deep dive in this theoretical table. I'm just going to say the name, like local NVMe is there, block volume, file storage, object storage, archive storage are there. These are the things which are present for the various use. For example, if we need just data to be stored, we use the block volume. If we need to share the data across the people, we need object storage, in which a particular URL will be given. We will be having a hands-on on AWS just in a minute. After that, we will be having the archive storage. In Amazon Web Services, archive storage is something like AWS Glacier or maybe Snowballs or etc., in which we put the large data which we don't need to take or to get in very certain number of the period. So it's quite cheap. Services are there which are integrated in AWS. So let's check about the S3, like how we can deploy a particular file in a particular region and how we can share it publicly. Suppose like the service which we are going to use is S3. S3 is simple storage service. This is the service of AWS which is available to the public for a public use. Like we can upload the things on this and can share with anyone's. For example, if you need to share something with your friends, one option is earlier we can upload to the Google Drive and generate the public link and share them with your friend. Another amazing option you can do is you can upload your object on S3 bucket and share its link. It will be something rounding the text to give the same output. So I will be giving the example to host the some bucket and in a particular region, and after that we will be sharing a common URL for a file. Like I'm present currently in the region will be marked earlier, like currently I'm present in US East. All my buckets are present in US East, say and Virginia. I'm creating a new bucket where we gonna upload a object. For example, this is a webinar, so let's say the bucket name is webinar underscore cloud. The region is US East. We can change the region. It's US East. So firstly, we are creating a private bucket. Like you can see, we had blocked all the public access. It means this is only open to the administrator. So I create the bucket. The error shown, the bucket name already exists. Okay, let's invalid character. Okay, webinar on cloud computing. Let's save this bucket name and create the bucket. You can see it means in a particular geographic location. For example, in our case, this is US East and Virginia. This is the geographic location, like US East. This is a geographic location. US East 1 is the availability domain. Like in US East, many availability zones are there, like US East 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. And in that, various FDs are there. Fault domains. For example, if I upload my object in US East 1, it will automatically be uploaded in US East 2, US East 3, so that if my US East 1 bucket goes down, it will automatically be redirected to the US East 2, US East 3 via load balancers, which distributes the traffic. So let's say I'm going to upload a file in this. It's loading. Say I'm uploading a text file on which my name is written as well as written welcome you to the cloud platform. So let's add that file. Like the file name is webinar. So I'm uploading that file. Like we went to next option, and here you can see the various options are there. I'm having my administrative access, etc., etc. And one thing I want to make clear, like I'm not promoting the AWS. I'm having my major access to the AWS, and as I'm also having my access to the Microsoft Azure. But the thing is, Microsoft Azure is just a little bit complex in terms of the interface, and I'm having a bit good experience in Amazon Web Services, so that's why I'm using. Please don't consider it as a promotion for the AWS. So like this, I'm the administrator of this. So I'm having the read, write, and all the permissions. So I'm gotta say next. I'm using, this is the various tiers. Like in OCI or Microsoft Azure, there are the various options. Like this is glaciers. For this is the archive data. Like if we don't need the data very frequently, but we are using just a free tier. So we are using a standard. So we upload the same. And in a while the thing will be uploaded and will be available in the US East 1 as a private file. So you can see the webinar txt file is there. Suppose I want to open, so this is the object URL which can be shareable. So instead of sharing the Google Drive link, you can share the same. And for example, if you open this, you will be not able to read because I had set it to a private. So you can see there is an error is there. So we can make it to public if we want that someone have access to it. Let's make it public. So here you can see we are blocking all the public access. We can disable this, like we enable all the public access. and confirm. We can even host a temporary website on Amazon S3 on any cloud platform, including the Microsoft Azure, including the OCI, which we can share without any domain. That's also the good point of any cloud platform, not a particular cloud platform. Now you can see all the public access has been off, and if I reload the file, and make it public, you can now you are able, you can see, yeah, see, hi, welcome to the cloud fundamental webinar. So this is the kind of thing. Again, I can make the same thing to the public. Like for example, if you are sharing a picture, sharing anything, you can share with your friend in this way also. This is a bit tech way to share on any cloud platform instead of using the public cloud. So redirecting to the presentation. So we are on the storage. After that, identity and access management is here. This is a service which we call of security. We are having the 4 terms in this. Like we are having the users, we are having the roles, we are having the policies. The IAM, the term IAM is from Apple Cloud as well as from Amazon Cloud. In Microsoft Azure, it's RBAC, RBAC. RBAC is role-based control access. The IAM service is like I am the administrative of my own cloud console. I can provide access to some user. They will not be getting administrative access. They will be getting the access to some part of a cloud which I am giving the permission. This is having the 4 terms. The first term is users. Users is something like we are adding to the cloud platform, and another is we are having the groups. We need to club the users into a particular group and then assign them roles. Roles are something like if I want them to access my storage services, then I can let them assign the position. They can read the storage services, and for storage services and for any other roles, we need to attach the policies. Policies are nothing but a JSON framed policies which we can upload, and it will work properly. So let's also do the same for this. Again, I'm saying I'm not promoting the Amazon Web Services. I'm a bit comfortable in Amazon Web Services, so that's why I'm using. So let's switch to the IAM. In Oracle, it's also same. So let's take a random name and create its user. So let's say I want Cyan to access my profile. Like I go to user. Like I'm going to add user as Cyan. So the user is there. So we enable the password, and let's say the custom password is, I'm not gonna tell. And next is we attach the permissions. So see, you can again see we need to create a group. So this is a wrong approach. Like firstly we are creating a user, then creating the group. So reverse is quite good approach. For example, if we create a group, then assign a policies to a particular group, then assign a user in that group. This is a very good approach. Now I'm going to do in a correct way. Like I'm creating a group. Say the new group is of testing. Say the group is of texting workshop. So the group is created and we need to attach some policies. For example, I attach the S3 read-only access. The file I had created, he has only read-only access. He can't monitor anything on that. So I will be assigning that role. So I had created the group. So the group is created like testing policies. So now let's create the user. Let's create Cyan is a user. So I'm giving him access. So permissions. Now we need to attach some group, and the group is testing workshop in which we have given the permission that he can read only my documents, not override that. So after that, we need to provide a unique key that's just for authentication. For example, I provide it as roll number, and let's say its roll number is 123 and review, and we created the user. See, the user Sayan is being created. I can even send him the mail for the same where he can get the credentials. Let me open that. I will show you that he can only read my document. If he want to write something, he will be getting an error. I'm redirecting to the same page. Like, this is my link. I open in a so if I want to provide some access to someone else, so in this way we can provide the unique URL will come, which we need to hit it up whenever we want to use. It will automatically redirect to the AWS, and you can see the administrative name is there. Like, I'm Amardeep, so my account name is already there, which can't be changed. So username is Sayan. If I don't forget the password, let me fill that. Yeah, password is correct. And yeah. After that, he will be asked to change the password. Like, I'm not having any access to his profile. After that, he's able to log in to my console. See, my console open, and you can see the name Sayan @Amardeep S. He's only an IAM user. So I had allocated a role of S3 that he can only read a thing. And let's say I open the same, and I just try to write on that. And let's see the error is coming or not. This was like, if I remember, I put the bucket to the private, and let's try to make it public. Yeah, public access to the public is blocked. So let's try to enable the public access. See, you can get the error. You don't have permission to edit this confirmation. So contact your account administrator to request. So in this way, we can even allocate some users to a particular group. For example, I'm having an administrative access, and someone says that I want to take a particular image for my project. I can allocate the permission for the AMIs or for the EC2 or for any service, just a read only or write access, and he's not able to control any administrative access. Suppose something went wrong and Sayan is misusing this profile. Suppose we don't have, and even as administrative, I can delete his from this. Like, now you can see I'm gonna delete this. So last activity will also come, like he's active today. So we had deleted the Cyan as a user, and now you can see in the console, and if we again refresh, it will automatically be logged off. We need to re-authenticate. It means the session is automatically expired. So
Amardeep,
this is the thing.
Amardeep, I think your screen just froze.
Okay.
So in my PC, I can see the set permission and add user to group, that screen. So I think it froze when you were talking about console. So can you like refresh it or something, or disconnect and try connecting again?
Just a moment. Now it's loaded, right?
It's
Yes.
it's still the same screen in mine. So
Okay, leave that. We are ended with the same session, like clubbing the IAM service, which we discussed earlier, is like we are having a policies. Policies are JSON framed policies. We are having some particular rules. The policies are being attached to the rules, and roles
Amardeep,
are
can
being
you
assigned to the.
yeah can you just disconnect and connect again because we can't see anything that you are talking about. So not the presentation, not anything. Just screen is frozen on IAM management console.
Okay, 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. Just stop the screen sharing and start again.
Okay, now is it visible?
Just a minute. It's not visible yet, but it's projecting.
Yes, visible.
Now let me repeat. Now let me repeat my last slide. Like what things
Yeah,
we
it's
need to do
visible.
in
Yeah, go ahead.
what things we need to do in IAM. We need to frame some JSON policies. The policies are already available, and if we need to reconfigure that policies, we can even reconfigure the policies. After that, roles are there. We can attach the roles to the particular policies, and after that, we need to club that in a group, and in group we need to assign some users. This is the IAM. Like in this way, I had provided and tried my best to provide an overview of the cloud computing. And see, this is the last slide of the presentation. It's just a meme, like power went out the warehouse and data is successfully hosted on the cloud. So here I'm signing off my session, and one thing which I'm expecting from you guys is now everyone is cleared what cloud is in terms of just definition. Cloud is not a G drive, it's something beyond the storage. Like as we said, it's on demand shared pool of configurable resources. Resources can be of any types, which can be easily scaled up or scaled down. So this is for my session. So I'm signing off the session. And if you are having any doubts, you may connect with me on the LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on the LinkedIn. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amardeep, for the amazing session. The audience were really loving it. Like we even have a comment that says he explained it amazingly till now. So yeah, you did a great job. uh,
Okay, I guess
hmm.
screen was lagging. It's because of network issue. That was not fault from my end. And if screen and voice is lagging, and it may be of network issue.
Yeah, sure. That don't worry about it. So the audience were able to hear you, and like they were able to understand. So we have got a few questions though for you, Amardeep. Now we clubbed it together.
Okay.
We clubbed a few questions together for you. So the first one is,
Okay.
what is the difference between the different cloud providers like GCP, AWS, Azure, etc.?
Okay, the main difference lies in the services. Like from my personal experience as well as from the various internet sources, if we are giving a scale on that, like AWS is at very first number. If we are giving the scale, AWS and Azure are almost parallel, and GCP after that. The difference comes in term of their interface as well as their working. Like working of all cloud platform is bit same, but the thing where it differs is in terms of services. Like AWS and Azure are having the maximum services as compared to the Google Cloud platform. So here it comes the difference. And moreover, the regions vary. Like AWS is having the higher number of regions as compared to the Oracle, and even Oracle are using the Microsoft regions. So at that point, the difference come, and somehow the difference also lies in the point of the cost.
Okay. So yeah, okay, that answers the question there. So we have another one which says, what is meant by infrastructure in cloud?
Infrastructure in cloud means like, for example, let's take the example of Microsoft. If we are using the Microsoft services, then Microsoft is also providing something from backend. Like infrastructure in cloud means the various data warehouses, the various data houses which are being hosted on the cloud, the various load balancers, or various virtualization techniques which we use so that it can be easily accessible to the users. That is the infrastructure in the cloud.
Okay, okay. So I think that answers the question the for those of you who had the same question. Now there's another one which says, what skills should we develop before using cloud computing? Do we need to be proficient in programming for that?
Actually, cloud is mainly divided into two parts, like SEOps is there, DevOps is there. If directly jumps to the DevOps part, like for example, we are writing a program of Hello World in C++. There are two things which we can do. The two things which we can do is we learn the syntax, like we need to include a header file, we need to use the namespace. After that, this. One thing is we can learn the same, and another thing is we grab the concept why we are including a header file, why we are using int main, why we are including a namespace or using the namespace. There are two ways. So similar in the cloud, we don't need to be proficient in any programming language if we are on the SEOps part. In the DevOps part, we may need some language if we are hosting a particular app or website or anything on the cloud. In that case, we may need Python. JS is sufficient for that. Python and JS are one of the main languages used, but it's not compulsory if you are on the SEOps part.
Okay, okay. Okay, so we have one more question that says, can we store data in the AWS database from UI of an application without creating an API from my end like Firebase?
We can store, like it's all like it's available up till the thing I know is it's possible to store, like in Firebase we can even store the data. I guess it's possible, but I'm not sure again in this point. I'm accepting that I'm not sure in that point.
Okay, okay. Awesome. So I think that is it for the questions that has been asked for this session. Thank you so much, Amardeep. Now, if you guys have any other questions, like if you try cloud after this session and you get some doubts or any questions in general, I will link Amardeep's social handles in the chat, and you can always go ahead and ping him if you have any kind of queries regarding cloud. And also, I want to mention before Amardeep leaves that he also writes technical, articles. So his team of NIT Jalandhar, he writes, he along with his team at Media Cell of NIT Jalandhar writes lots of amazing technical articles. So I will also link that article in the link in the chat box, so you can go ahead and check those. Thank you so much, Amardeep, for joining with us today. It was an amazing session.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. So yeah, I think we should move on to
I'm here.
Oh, welcome back, Smriti.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Yes. Sorry I was a little late.
Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. We have done the first session. Now it's time for our next session, which is on Git and GitHub. So it's about open source, and a lot of things are open source. Like everything we see right now is on GitHub, is basically open source, and you can contribute. So we think that there can't be a better way to talk about open source, because it's high time now that we all know what it is. And so for the same reason, we have our next session, which is basically basically taken by Aditya, and he would be giving you a hands-on approach to open source with Git and GitHub. Now he's also a campus ambassador at Coding Blocks. He's also a MSP, and also an open source contributor at GoScript Summer of Code 2020. So I think he'll be the perfect guy who can talk to you about open source and how you can get started with it. So Aditya, are you there?
Yeah, hi, I'm here. Yeah.
Hello, Aditya.
Yeah.
Hey.
So please kindly shut off your mic.
Could you repeat that?
Can you please shut down your mic?
Yeah. Sure.
So hey guys, is my screen audible? Visible? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
hello. Your screen is
Yeah.
visible. Yes.
Yeah. So hey guys, thanks Amardeep for having a wonderful session on cloud fundamentals. So hey guys, my name is Aditya Gupta. So Sain has already given a brief discussion about myself, but I am also going to give another. Right now, I am a campus ambassador at Coding Blocks, and I have been contributing to Google Code in 2018, and I have been a top 20 participant in that. Apart from that, I am currently an open source contributor at GulfScript Summer Code and a micro student partner. And you can check out my actions on Google, which I have developed, and you can find it on my LinkedIn page. So apart from that, let's head on to a session. So our today's session is getting hands on open source like Git and GitHub. So hey guys, the today's key points of the session are
Aditya,
intro.
your screen has been frozen, I guess, too. So it's like in the loading page, or like it's just a black screen with like your screen is visible, but it's frozen. So can you try, switching it back? Try
Okay,
screen
okay,
sharing it.
okay, 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 okay,
Thank you.
okay, okay, wait. Now is it visible?
It's still presenting, so just give me a minute.
Okay, okay.
I think I can see it fine on my end.
It may be my connection. Okay,
Yeah, same. Yeah, same. So can I.
go ahead.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
I
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
I believe it's.
okay,
I'm
okay,
not. I'm still not able to see it though. Just a minute, Aditya. Just wait a minute.
okay, okay, okay.
Uh, I don't know what is the error, because if my screen is not visible, then people won't be able to see it on YouTube. So
Kindly
Do
refresh
you
your
want
screen
me?
so you
Do you
can
want me?
see.
Do you want to give the stream key and I can quickly on mine?
yeah, sure, I can do that.
Send it off.
So now is it visible?
Just a minute, Aditya.
Okay, okay.
You're gonna message it on me. So
Mm-hmm.
cool. Hopefully this works. Oh no. Oh no. Then you're sharing it on the stream.
I know, but I didn't have any other choice because I'm sure like my Teams is live as well.
Hi. Okay. Never mind. Okay, we'll try it.
Is it visible now?
I will switching over
No,
to mine.
Okay, okay.
it's still not.
So it will be in a second.
I think you would be able to connect now. I don't know why though, because I have like 3 Mbps.
Okay, okay. Now is it visible?
No, it's still not visible. Okay, now I can see it on Teams.
So can I start?
Yeah, it's still not visible in my end too.
Okay.
I can see it on stream. I can't see it on the stream. I can see it on Teams. I cannot view it on the YouTube stream.
No, I've stopped the stream though. I have closed the
No,
OBS.
I can see it now. I can see it now on the YouTube stream.
Okay, cool.
So now is it perfect?
Yeah, it's
I
visible
think you're
now.
good to go.
Oh, okay. So hey
Salman,
guys,
can you please close the meeting chat? Meeting chat.
the key points of this today's session are intro to open source. Going ahead, we will talk about what is a version control system. After that, we will go up to VCS. Types of VCS you can say. The role of version control system in real world projects you can say. Then we will head on to some popular version control systems available online. Then we will talk about generally what is GitHub. Then we will head on to interaction with Git and some of commands we can use in Git Bash and Git GUI decrypted. Then we will uncover some misconceptions we have in our mind. Then I will talk about the places you can contribute to in open source. Then we will get hands on to quick labs. Then after I will talk about some developer programs offered by GitHub. So hey guys, uh, actually what is a version control system? Version control system can be think as of a set of tools which is helpful in recording the changes done to the files and which can be done by recording the modifications done to the source code by the users who are contributing to the real world projects. So types of version control systems. There are actually three types of version control systems. First is local version control system, then centralized version control system. At last, we head on to distributed version control system. Moving on to that, what is the local version control system? You can think it as of there is a system, there is a local computer in which there is a set of files, and in the picture you can clearly depict that there are three versions of the files. Means these versions can be thought of as a database, and this is the file where the data is stored in the change of modifications. Then we will head on to centralized version control system. The centralized version control systems comes in two parts. Suppose there are two systems, system A and system B, and there are three versions of the files which we are modifying by contributing the source code. So in this centralized version control system, we can see that we can contribute to it by modifying the code, but in this we have a working copy and a repository for that. Means there are two systems, systems A and system B, and both get a single repository for that and a working copy for each, and the versions itself gets recorded in the form of a guest. Then we will head on to distributed version control system. So why do we need a distributed version control system when we have a centralized version control system? So the simple answer for that is that if we lost the data, or if we want to roll back to the previous version, that if the current version is getting attacked, or if it is showing errors and if it is not modifying correctly. Suppose you can take example of a graphic driver which you install manually or by using a documentation. So if it gets errors or if it shows display errors on your screen, you might generally roll back to a previous version for that. That's why we also needed here a distributed version control system. So the main example for a distributed version control system can be thought of as Git or GitLab. So here you can see in a distributed version control systems, there are multiple repositories, where in case of centralized version control system, there is generally only one repository and a working copy. Then in distributed version control systems, we generally contribute by doing commits, updating the code, pushing the files, and pulling out the request. So what is a commit actually? Commit can be thought as of a latest part added to the source code by adding it through your manually or by automating a script for that. So what is pulling a request? For pulling a request means that you generally pull a request that you wanna add some file, you wanna add some modified file for that code. Then we will head on to the role of version control systems in real world projects. So there are many role, or you can say there are many advantages of using version control systems in real world projects. The first example can be thought of as the distributed version control system like Git acts as a backup. Actually, Git, most of the people currently are confused between Git and GitHub. Actually, Git is not GitHub. Actually, GitHub can be thought as of a web-based repository that is available online, and Git is actually can be thought as of a terminal, and whereas GitHub can be thought as of a GUI and Git can be thought as of a CUI. Then what is a part of collaboration? Collaboration tends to play a bigger role when you are a shared repository or a public repository. When say you can change the permissions according to your need when you are collaborating others, or when you are collaborating within a team or an individual startup. So in this you can see rollbacks is the best part, as if you get stuck, I've mentioned it earlier also, that rollback is currently a best part, that if you get stuck or get errors in your current version, you can generally roll back to the previous version, as I've given the example of a graphic driver. Then you actually get to know the history of modifications done to the source code, and you actually see that who has generally made the modifications to the source code. Then we will head on to some popular version control systems which are available online for you. So these are GitHub, GitLab, Beanstalk, Apache Subversion, and Perforce. Then you can also try AWS Code Summit, which is also a popular version control system available online, but the most used one is GitHub for collaboration and version control of the code. Then we can head on to Microsoft Team Foundation server as well. Apart from that, you can also head on to Mercurial. I won't suggest you to use Mercurial as it's not the best one, but you can always try any one of that you can get familiar to every one of that. Then there are many more other, but I've listed some of the popular ones here. Then actually, what is GitHub? See here, it's basically a cloud-based service platform that is built and powered for hosting source code for version control and collaboration. So actually, what is a cloud-based service? You actually got to know when Amardeep took the session earlier. So it is a cloud-based service because here your code actually gets onto the cloud. You don't need to save it or clone it on your local terminal, and you get to know actually the modifications of the code done for version control, and you can collaborate with other people who are working on the same project in a shared repository or a working repository or a public repository or a private repository, you can say. So I am continuously saying of repository. So I want to tell you what actually a repository is. Repository can be thought as of a database that consists of many historical changes done to the actual source code, and it actually forms in base of the GIS, you can say, and it compiles down vertical flow of the is that it goes through the most latest code modifications goes to the upper part, and the least ones go to the lower part. Then it's a great platform who wish to contribute to open source and projects provided by projects admins. Some of the bigger project nations you can say are Kotecha, or you can say about Julia programming language. It's also a popular repository which is handled by Logan Kilpatrick. You can follow him. Apart from that, let's head on to a next slide. So let's clear some of our misconceptions we have in our mind when we try to actually contribute to open source. Actually, most of the people try to think that Git is actually GitHub. I've already covered it, but I'm gonna cover it one more time. Actually, Git is not GitHub. GitHub is a web-based repository that actually restores the repository for free, whereas Git is used for adding the changes to a repository and creating a repository in a CUI form, whereas GitHub can be thought as of a GUI form. Then backups. Generally people consider that backups are considered equivalent to a version control. This is actually not true. Version control means it is the history, it contains the history of the changes which you done to the files, and it actually tracks the most recent changes you done to the source code. Then actually most of the people try to think that for learning Git we need to know every command. Actually that is not true, because when you are working in a team or when you are working in a startup, most of you will get too familiar to Git. They will actually provide you the main commands you need to write there. So wait guys, I'm gonna show you some commands how you can interact with Git bash. So hey guys, so firstly you have, when you are trying to initiate a repository, you generally have to initiate your username and the password, or username and your email ID for which the Git account will be associated with. Then you have to generally write git config double flag global, then user.name, and after that you have to generally write two quotes, and inside of that you generally write name. So here name can be any. If your account is associated with Sayan, say, then the next part is to git config double flag global. Then you have to associate your email ID, then user dot email, then you have to write within the double quotes as a previous one, then you write any email ID you can write, and it gets associated. Now to initiate a repository you generally have to write git init, and after that you have to write the repository name. Repository name can be any, but make use of the letters but not most the alphanumeric characters. So I am giving the name to the repository here. Suppose I give a name Purgy, then see here, sorry, the permission isn't denied because it is connected to my directory. So I am gonna write the commands because it's not included the permissions. After that, after you initiate a repository, then after that you generally have to write git add for adding a file. Suppose you have a file adt.txt, then you generally write that command. After that, you are gonna commit, then you use git commit command. Right now it's not showing as I haven't initiated a repository. Then git, when you have to write a git commit message, generally keep in your mind that commit message should be cleared to everyone who is seeing it. For writing that, you generally write git commit flag m. Then inside the flag, after the flag part, you generally write within the double quotes I have created a commit message. It's generally simple and it's showing what it does. Then if you wanna see what's the status of your current commit, then you use git status. It actually will show you the current status of the git repository. Then after that, if you wanna add directly to the commit part, not as if your code is currently in the working tree directory or if it's written staging area, then you can directly go to the git commit dash a flag. Then you can generally add the code directly to the file. So I think these are the basic commands which you can keep in mind while contributing to a repository or while initiating a repository. But keep in mind before starting that, kindly write these commands. The first two commands I have written here. These are the most important one before initiating a repository. So guys, what are the places you can contribute to open source? So actually Google Coding is for pre-university students. It's from that if a student is from an age of 13 to 17 and if he is in 12th, then he can contribute to open source and learn about what actually open source is. Actually open source generally means that it is the general software for which the open source general code is made freely available for everyone to modify and redistribute it. Actually the companies and the bigger startup generally used to open source their code to make the necessary changes to the code which their developers can't. So that's the most important part you can keep in mind, because if you contribute to open source you can generally be rewarded at a higher pace. So Google Summer of Code, if I talk about it, it's generally taken in summer from around May to August. So if you wanna participate in Google Summer of Code, you generally have to be a university student and above 18. After that, I will talk about Hacktoberfest. It generally take in late October. After that, there is Girl Script Summer of Code, organized by Anubha Maheshwar, who is the founder of Girl Script Summer of Code. This is also a great event to participate in open source and actually know about what is it generally. Then Microsoft Imagine Cup. It's generally held up by Microsoft on a yearly basis. You can generally search of it in Google. Then so hey guys, now I will talk about what actually Quick Labs is. So Quick Labs basically is an online platform by Google Cloud which provides end-to-end hands-on training in Google Cloud services, and you can actually track your code here through working labs, and you can actually get the experience which you actually don't get in regular classrooms, and you actually mug the things by generally reading out the things. Then this platform provides you live environment anywhere, anytime, on any device. You can generally contribute to hand-on learning labs. Then I will show you. So this is actually the Quick Labs website. You can generally sign in this website. Here you can find a bunch of hand-on learning labs. Here you can find pre-courses, and you can find quests for that. If you are on to cloud architecture, which Amardeep was talking about, you can generally apply it to cloud architectures, or you can use Google Cloud Essentials Lab, which is the most basic lab you have to contribute to when you're starting on. Then here you have to go to sign in. Here you can sign in. So hey guys, this is the actual platform. You can track here the catalog part where you can see what are the quests you have to take. If you are using Amazon Web Services, or if you want to get familiar to what AWS is, which Amardeep was talking about, you can generally head over to AWS Fundamental Quest, and you can actually decide the difficulty level on your basis. That you can define the format of the hands-on lab, whether it is a quest or a course, and after that you can decide it the level: introductory level, fundamental level, or advanced or expert level. After that you can decide what should be the duration of that event. After that you can also decide the language. Then the moderate level: if you are contributing to an instructor-led course, that can be of a day or might be two. So hey guys, let's head on to our main slide. I think that's all for Quick Labs. So guys, now I will talk about what generally GitHub offers for their developers, or I will talk about GitHub developer programs, some of the famous ones. So actually the application process of the GitHub campus part, actually you can find it here. Actually GitHub campus expert, for becoming a GitHub campus expert, firstly you have to apply for GitHub student developer pack. Actually what a GitHub student developer pack contains, I will show you. You can see here it generally offers you all the open source tools which you need. If you wanna write a domain, or if you have a domain or a hosting web service, and if you are on gaming, and if you are gonna develop a game on Unity using JS, sorry, then you can get head on to Namecheap, which is actually affordable registration, hosting and domain management system. Then you can also check out their other features also. So these are the main features which a GitHub student developer pack provides to you. Then apart from this, if you are a faculty, or if you are a trainee and you want to provide your students, then you can apply for GitHub Campus Advisors program, and you will get offered to GitHub Teacher Toolbox. Then if you are applying for a whole school or if you are applying for a whole university, then one can of your university can apply for the GitHub campus program. They will have access to the GitHub classroom program. Then after that, you can search it here. You generally have to start the training of becoming a GitHub campus advisor if you are a faculty or a trainee. So hey guys, I think I have given a basic intro to all these GitHub developers program you are interested in, and I will give out the links to these programs you can generally apply in. So thank you everyone. Thank you for being in this session. I will be signing off and you will get ahead to Azure fundamentals given by Ganesh. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Aditya. Okay, so I think we have one question from the chat.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
someone isn't like unsure about what is GitHub Gist. So could you tell what is Gist?
Can you actually repeat the question?
What is GitHub Gist? So somebody had
Actually,
a doubt
GitHub,
about
yeah,
what
yeah,
they
yeah.
are.
Actually, GitHub just can be considered to be a code snippet. Here, you can contribute your basic code snippets or the general code snippets you contribute to. If you are writing a JS code or if you are writing a C code or if a Python code, you can generally write down your most favorite codes there. I will show you the link of that. What actually GitHub Gist is. So see here, actually firstly you have to write a description about what is your gist doing here, and then you have to write a extension for that, the file name. Then you can generally add a manual file or you can generally write the code here for that one. If you are gonna write a simple program, like you can generally write hello world program, so you generally write it like this, hello.c. Okay, then after writing the extension of that, you generally write the code here. You can also write a description what your git does. And if you want indentation in your code, you can generally write here indent size. It may be 4, but you should always think of the official guide which is provided to you. In case of Python 3, you generally wrote 4 indent spaces for that. So here you can add the indent. After that, you can also see what is create secret gist. If you wanna make it private to yourself or if you wanna upload it as a public gist, then you can do also that like that. Then simply it is saved. So that's all.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for this wonderful session. And I'm sure that a lot of people were, got clear about you like explored a lot of different stuff. You got into developer student pack, and you explored so many areas about QuickLab as well. So I think it was really, really insightful for a lot of people watching. And you also gave them like a very good introduction about GitHub Campus Expert program. So those of you who are interested can go and apply. Thank you so much, Aditya, for this session. I will just link the social handles you have so that anyone, if they have any doubt about GitHub or the GCE program or anything about open source in general, so that they can go
Yeah,
and
yeah,
ping you.
yeah. At last, I would
Awesome.
like to say that if anyone would like to contact me, they can contact me on my LinkedIn page. And if anyone want to contribute to any open source projects, I have them, and they can generally contact me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aditya. Thank you. It was really great having you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so moving on, we have our third speaker, and this is a speaker who is pretty famous in the MSP community. And like, if you have attended any session of MSP, whether whether it's MSP Inspire, MSP Impact, whatever session you have attended of MSP, you will find this person there. He is pretty active in the MSP community, and he is really an amazing person. So he will be talking about Azure Functions today. So he is. His name is Ganesh Tiwari. Smriti, are you in for this one? I really want to introduce him.
Okay, okay, go ahead and introduce him.
Yeah, so okay, so he is someone who you can call a master of all domains. I know he won't be agreeing to it. He's pretty modest. He doesn't like doing that, but he is like really the master of all domains, I would say. And he likes coding in Python, Kotlin, Dart. And yeah, so he is very active in the community, and you can find him anywhere. Just type MSP and you will find Ganesh. So yeah,
Also,
so that is.
also he's a
Mhm.
professional. He's like a pro Minecraft player. So if you ever want to play Minecraft, you gotta hit him
If you
up.
ever want to
He's
play
available like
Minecraft,
all the
join
time.
Ganesh. He'll teach you Minecraft. Ganesh, are you there?
Yes, yes,
Ganesh.
yes, I'm there. Yes, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yay. Yay, we can hear you. Ganesh is back.
Awesome. So I will start sharing my screen now. I have a
Mm-hmm.
little uh, presentation that I made. Let me just turn it on and we will be going on. So awesome. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can you guys see it?
Yep, we can see it.
Awesome. So my network is fine today, I guess. Uh, let's go. Oh, not the last slide. I want the first slide. Okay, awesome. So awesome. So my talk here is going to be about Azure Functions, everything you need to get started, and we will also, try to deploy a normal Azure function in the Azure using only VS Code and not on not we will not go to the portal itself. So if you have worked with any cloud service providers like AWS or GCP or anything, you know that for doing something you have to go on portal and do stuff. But this is different with Azure, and it has so many things, plugins and stuff. So you can just deploy it from your IDE. You don't even need to go to the portal. Just have to sign in, deploy. Awesome. So a little bit about me. I was, I prepared this in a rush, so I was not able to put in animations over here. But
अरे
this
भाई
is
अर्नव
the
अपने वीडियो भैया बहुत अच्छा बोल रहा है जो बोल रहे हैं लोग बोल रहे हैं
I'm hearing very bad, very much, very bad. Awesome. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Ganesh. Yeah, sorry for that.
Okay. Okay. So my name is Ganesh Tiwari. As everyone has said already, I'm a master of computer science student. So I may be older than you. So you don't need to worry about like, yo, he does so much stuff. Nah, I have had my time, and so if you see me doing stuff, it's because I've had more time than you guys. Don't worry, you will after a certain amount of time you will do more things than me, of course. These are my handles if you want to connect with me. Okay, be aware I share a lot of memes, so Don't get offended on that. Uh, so moving on to our topic, what is Azure Functions? I have added a Azure logo here, Azure Functions logo. So Azure Functions is a event-driven compute on-demand experience that extends the existing Azure application platform with capabilities to implement code triggered by events during occurring in Azure and or third-party services or on your on-premises system. So uh, what does it mean from a beginner's point of view? So if you don't know whatever I just said, what does it mean? So basically Azure Functions is a serverless kind of thing. So serverless, when I say serverless, it doesn't mean like serverless. So you don't need servers at all. You need servers, but you need them less. uh, how would you say less? So it is trigger driven as it is said in here. So it only functions when there is a trigger occurring. uh, what can be these triggers? Well, Azure, as you know, Microsoft has lot of integration with lot of services. So there are many triggers that you can apply to it, as well as it opens, it has a basic HTTP trigger which you can trigger it. If your service or your application isn't included in those third party services and you want to have them integrated, the basic and the easiest way is using an HTTP trigger, which is available in the functions. And in the practice session which we will be having soon, we will work on a HTTP trigger. Okay, awesome. So I think I have described all of this perfectly. Moving on to the next thing, how does it work? So you might be worried like, yo, this is like so much of good stuff packed into one thing. You might be saying like this might have problems, but no, as of currently, Azure Functions is hosted on GitHub, so it is open source. If even if you have like some problem in working of it, you can go raise an issue, and they will look at your request, and they will try to fix it. I haven't worked on it so much, but whenever I have worked on it, it has been very useful and fun session whenever I've done it. So as I have said earlier, this is a serverless execution model. So you don't need to have a server just for running a functions thing. It happens on triggers. So whatever triggers you have defined, after that trigger happens, this function will work. So it basically needs less servers. Mm, Innovative way of accessing and processing. This can be said for wide range of technologies. And yes, so when you say it is based on triggers, you would say like there might be limited number of triggers, but uh, as I have made this template and as I have looked onto the documents, there are more than 30 triggers options that are available. You can use most of the Azure provided resources, and even if it has some trigger on it, it can work. Awesome. Now moving on to the next slide. Yes, so this is a list of all the triggers and bindings that are there. I just copied it from the docs.com website. So all of these things which you are seeing in my presentation, if you feel like this is wrong and uh, you know something misleading, you can go on to docs.com and find it. It is all taken from there. So if you go ahead, and those docs are open source, so you can also edit them as well. Awesome. Moving on to the next thing. Yes, so it is serverless. It uses it happens on triggers. So on which languages can you write those things? So in this part of thing, it is also widely supported. You can write in C#, you can write in Java, you can write in JavaScript, You can write in PowerShell, you can write your program in Python, you can write it in TypeScript. Also, it is open source, so you can take ahead your language of favorite choice and try to plug it in, because the code is always visible and you can connect it somehow, So, hey, so enough of trash talking. Now let's do some demo. What do you say? Enough of talking, show me your code. Okay, let's go. I will explain this and let's go. Let me open up my VS Code thingy. So as you can see, I have made a function for this thing, and in the end of this session, we will try to replicate whatever we have done here. It is not much code, it is very small amount of code, and it will, what it basically does is like it in this quotes.json, there are like 40,000 quotes taken from this is taken from a Kaggle repository. So these data science people do a lot of crazy stuff, and we are not interested in that. We will make a function which will, when we call it, it will return a random quote. Okay, so let's jump into it and maybe try making something. Okay, so how can you make it? So when I end this session, you guys might be thinking like, he went too fast and I was not able to learn all the things. So all these resources which I am going through here will be available on Springfire GitHub site, and we will try to provide it. We will try to provide the links to you. Even if we are not able to provide it, you can just Google on GitHub. Search on GitHub for MSP Inspire, and you will follow on this content. So I have made a good README describing all of that process, and let's just enough of talking. Let's just go into the code. Okay. So this is the newest Windows terminal, and I like it very much. I will be using that. So right now I am in C drive, and I'm using bash shell. So if you are not comfortable with it, don't worry, you just see whatever I'm doing and maybe read one or two documents on how to get started with bash shell. So I am in C drive, and all of the projects which I make are in projects directory. Okay, ls, and let's see. So we will make what do you say, uh, normal function project. Okay, so make their sample TechStream. uh, Go into it. When we go into it, we just have to open it with VS Code, and rest of this presentation will be done in VS Code. You don't need to go into portal, your portal for that. Yes, as far as I have planned it, we can do it all in this VS Code session. So if you don't have an Azure subscription, get Azure for students if you are a student, or you can just get a free subscription. They give like something like some credits, and for 12 months it's free. So when we start VS Code, what do we need? So you might think like, yo, he has everything ready. What do I need to do? These all things are not visible in my sessions, in my session of VS Code. So for this you know this session what we are having right now, you would need these two extensions. First is Azure account, and then the second is Azure Functions. Okay, so it's pretty easy installing them. You just have to click an install button over here, and it will go ahead and install everything over there. Okay, so you can see I have many extensions, but I'm working in this WSL's session. You don't have to worry about those. You just need the two things I mentioned earlier. After you have those things setups, yeah, you just have to press, you know, F1 on your command, and this kind of thing will show up. And here you have to type create function. Okay, so as I have created a function earlier, it is showing top. Like recently, you might have to search for it. Don't worry, search for it and create. Click. Okay. It will say this is not a functions project. Create new project. Yes, and it will go ahead and no. So after you do that, it will ask for which language do you prefer. So I basically know all of these languages, but I prefer working with Node.js most of the times, as JavaScript is so much easier, and JSON passing, all that stuff is so much easier in JavaScript. I will click on it. You can read the documentation for all of these things and you can use it. So I will click JavaScript, and then it will ask for a template. So as I have earlier said, in my presentation, uh, all of these things, all of these functions, they run on triggers. So as you can see, we have a couple of many triggers right now. Okay, so you can develop a function for any of that, and but we are not going to cover any of those. What the things which we are worried about is HTTP trigger. So it is basically the simplest of all. We will click on it and we will name it simplest trigger. Okay, awesome. uh, Press enter, and it will ask about what do you want to be the authorization level. So if you press on admin, it will be the most strict authorization. If you select a function, it will be less than that, and if you select anonymous, this function can be accessed by anyone. So as of this session, I will just go with anonymous one. It will go ahead and create your project. Okay, you don't have to do anything. Awesome. So as you can see, my trigger is up, and that's it. So your simplest function is created now. Yes, so this is you might be asking how can I modify that. I will show you in a little bit. But this is a basic template hello world thing ready here. As you can see, we can just press F5 and it will start it up for us, but I can explain to you guys how's all of this happening over here. So as you can see, this is our function which is working, and you know it asks, or it views the query and sees that whether a name is present in that query or not. So if a name is present, it returns hello and the name. So awesome. So this is what it returns, and yeah, so this is basically hello world project. Awesome. So this is what it does, and if I open a post, we would be able to test it out. Awesome. I just this is this is a thing which I had never had a session on, so I am very worried about how is it going. But until now, it is going fine, and I hope that it stays fine and dandy until the end. Awesome. So this Azure Functions, it is running currently on my PC, but if you go ahead and try to run it on your PC, it won't run because the runtime uh, the runtime which you want for this thing to run is not included in the project, and you would need to download and install that runtime. So you would think like, yo, this is going to be so much trouble to install that, but no. So you don't have to worry about anything. There is a simple script which you can run. It is less than a line script. Okay, this install Azure Function Core Tools version 3. For 3 you would use @3. For version 2 you would use @2. So for this thing which I am running currently is in WSL. So my WSL has Node.js 8. So for that I have to use @2. But if you have a newer version of Node.js, you would be you would be wanting to use that version 3 over here. But don't worry about that. Microsoft supports everything. Even if you use version 1 or version 2, that is currently supported, and security things are given to them. Awesome. So let's call in our function. Enough of talking. Yeah, so it was running here, wasn't it? URL. Awesome. Did I just mess up the URL? Wow. Okay, so this sample Azure function. So I had tested a function. Awesome. So it is automatically copied over here. I don't know how, but yeah. So whenever you create a function and you run it, it is running on an endpoint. And yes, so this is that endpoint. I click on it, send, it will send a request. And okay, oh sorry. This is so for this I have to use localhost 127.0.0.1. Oops, I need to get that URL. Awesome. So as I was talking about messing up, I messed up. Great thing to do, ganesh. Go on. So no worries, we will just run it again, and let's see. Mm, whoa. Oh, sorry. This is the Visual Studio Code instance that I should be worried about. So here is put the other thing, go to desktop 2 and just focus this thing. Awesome. So this is the code which I should copy, and we'll just paste it here, send, and it should return response soon. Awesome. So as you can see, the the query ran and this executed successfully, but it is asking for us so to provide a name. So how can you provide a name? You just provide a name by doing so. So I'm gonna use awesome. I'll send in a request. Hello, get 786 HTTP request ran successfully. Awesome. So this thing ran successfully. Now we want to modify. So as I have said earlier, my plans for this session is I want to make a quotes, application. So how can we do that? So for making a quotes application, you would need codes, okay? So how can you get those codes? No worries. If you do a simple Google search, oh sorry, what am I saying? If you do a simple Bing search, if you do Bing it, you will find resources in a few seconds. So Kaggle has too many resources. After this end of this session, I will be providing the links to all of that thing which I am doing here, so you don't have to worry about anything. But let me just quickly grab this, quotes.json file over here. Awesome. So I will just copy it and paste it here. Whoa, why it is not pasting? Awesome. So I will just reveal in Explorer and then I'll paste it there. Awesome. So go paste it over here. Awesome. So as you can see, this is a 22 or 23 megabytes of file. So it has, I don't know, when I last checked, it had like, uh, whoa, I ended that session. What am I doing? Why did I keep on doing these things? So when I last checked and ran this thing, it had like 48,000 codes. So don't worry about, trying to get the same code again. You won't be able to do that if you are using this codes.json. Awesome. So moving on to the next thing. So after this, what you have to do is get a random, get this thing, which I have written over here. So this is a code which I have pre-written. You might be wondering what is this, but no worries. I will just copy one of the thing from here. This is this get random code generator thing, okay? And then we will move on to our side thing and get code dot js. This we need a file stream object, so we can do that. When we run a function, it doesn't automatically do npm install, so we have to, and it will basically create a Node.js module in here, and now I will be able to use require. So const fs equals require const fs equals to, and then we just create a class, paste in that random generator thingy. So you don't have to worry about this code. This is just a random generator thing. So this dot get random number is a function which is passed a max number. So this will be the maximum number of quotes we have in quotes.json. And then what will it do is, get a math.random number and it will multiply it by our max number. So we get a math. So when we do math not random, it generates a number from 0 to 1. So we have to make it, we don't have to have that 0 to 1 number. We want to have it between 0 to the maximum number. So what will we do is just multiply it. Awesome. So moving on to our next function, get code. We just do that correctly. So what we do is fs const. So for reading this, we have to read it using the fs library. So binary equals to dot read file sync, and then we will provide the address of that file. So let me just grab that relative path and paste it here. And then, so this whatever it will read, it will be in binary. So we have to get it in JSON format. So how do we do that? No worries. As I have said earlier, reading JSON files in JavaScript is so easy. You just have to send the binary file in here, and we have that JSON. Awesome. In 2 lines of code, we we read the file and we converted into JSON. I know. I don't think so any other language will provide this kind of feature other than JavaScript. Awesome. So next thing what we want to do is get a random quote. So let a random quote is equals to from that whole JSON file. We just want a oh sorry, for before that we need to have a random number. So is equals to this dot get random number, and we will have our random number here. And what it will do is from that JSON file, it is a array of quotes. It will get a quote, and then we will just return that random quote. Awesome. So our work here is done. So what we do need to do here is like, I don't know, end this class over here and export it. So module dot exports equals to code. Awesome. So our work is done here in this file, and in this file I will just remove all of this gibberish. We don't need that. We are not checking anything. And what we will do here is import that code file which we just created. Import, oh sorry, what am I doing? Code library. This is what happens when you do too many things, use too many languages. You get confused so much. So what we have to do here is uh, provide the getcode.json file, and it will be loaded on here. Awesome. So library dot did something wrong here, boys. Oh yes. So this, as you see here in this part, this is a class. So upon getting over here, we have to uh, quotes object, we have to create an object for it. So what we have to do is quotes library and then call it. Awesome. So what we do is quote library, and then you can just context dot response equals to, and then you have to just provide the code for the thing. It will be 200, and body would be we will just let code equals to set dot get random quote get code. So as you yeah, let's before doing anything else, let's test it out, because this is a lot of code which we have done here, and it would be all for nothing if this fails, and I don't want it to fail. So pray for me, pray for GAT786, and let's see if it works. Awesome. So as you can see here, it is using Azure Code Tools version 2.7, as I've said, because npm restrictions we are using. Awesome. So our code is here, and luckily we don't have any errors as for now, and this is running on that same trigger, so we will just click on it, send random trigger, and wow, 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 wow. Let me just grab this link. Let me just run this. Woo. So I get nothing in my response. So I think I'm doing a little bit of something wrong over here. Let me just look into my earlier code which I made for this project, and hopefully we will be able to find that thing whatever we have done. So nothing is wrong here as I can see, and it is perfectly fine over here too. Context.response. So let me just grab this thing from here and we will paste it to the other thing which we need. Well, this is not that section. Awesome. So this is it. Now this should work now. So whenever you edit your file, you just have to reload that thing and it will run again. And as you can see, I haven't done anything wrong here. Oh, I haven't used the code. We will also, yes, this should work fine, just fine. Awesome. Go on, do it. Don't don't make me nervous. So, in a, I remember I asked in the last session or so, what is the nervous part of being in a session, and this is the nervous part. So, whenever you write a code and you're waiting for it to run, this is the nervous part. Also, this is way much harder when you're doing it in a live stream, and I don't know. This is having giving me so many problems. So let's just um, we will just go on to this thing which I made earlier, and as you can see, I have actually explained all of the things which I have done. So yes, so this is the thing which I had done. So if I had seen, okay, so I think I understand what I did wrong. If I go on to code in, awesome. So in this thing, this get random number function takes a parameter. What is it? Maximum number. And we didn't pass it that. So what we need to do is quotes dot JSON and length. Now this should work just fine. Awesome. Let's run this function and pray for the best. And you might be wondering, yeah, so this is getting late, and you might be wondering, this will take too much of time, too much of your time. So don't worry about that. It will end soon. hosting it on Azure is so much more easier. You don't have to do anything. I'll just frick, what did I just do? So I have to copy Postman and just paste it here. Let's just run this. We should get this one. No, we are not getting this one. I don't know what is going wrong. So I will just skip this thing and move on to the thing which I have made earlier, and it works fine, just fine. So if you are wondering what I did wrong, you don't have to worry about it. Uh, you know, I have made this repo open source. You can just go ahead and check this repo whenever you want. I'll just run the correct version from here and show you guys what is it like to have a correct function running in. Then go on to awesome. So I have this thing running over here. I need to disconnect that and then go on to the next new thing and just run this. So hosting it on Azure is so much more easy. So you have, once you install all of those extensions which I had earlier told you about, you will go ahead and see this thing in your computer. So in your VS Code, sorry, in your computer, I'm saying. So in your VS Code session, whenever you are running a thing in a function, sorry. So whenever you're running a function, you will see like two things. So for this you need to be signed into your Azure account. That you can do is just pressing F1 and sign in into your Azure account. After you have signed, you will see two things: your Visual Studio Enterprise Edition thing, and then your local projects. So from local projects, what you have to do is, okay, so this is also not working for some reasons. Correct my life. Okay, so when this function runs, I have it live running on our portal. If I go it on to if I also have it on in our portal. I had made this thing and it was deployed to Azure, and I have it running on my portal. If it loads correctly, I'll be able to show you guys quickly how it looks to have a thing on have a function. TechStream function I created earlier for that, and let me just copy this code from here. Okay, so I just have to copy this Chakraborty function. Okay, yes, from here, once you deploy your function, this is some kind of a portal that you get for your functions, and whichever functions you are deployed in a function app are shown here. So I made this project for earlier before this session, and I deployed it. It is the same function which I created with you guys, and this is working. So I will show you through Postman how it works. Awesome. Or I can just copy and paste this URL over here, and it should run perfectly fine. Awesome. So it changed to here. run it, it should return, yes, it returns a random code. So this was the thing, and the one thing that is remaining is how you can host a function. So this is the easiest part which you can do. It's like I will go on to, yeah, so the website here is also loaded. Awesome. How you can do that? You can go ahead and you need to have those two extensions which I earlier told about. So Azure and you know Azure Functions. Yes. So after you have those, your local function will show over here. You just have to click on it, and you just have to select it and click on this function. So function app, and it will show you a few things. Which function which you want to choose. If you have functions app running, you can just select its name, or you can just click new and put in any random name, and then it will search for it. Yes, so it is available. Awesome. And then you have to select your Node.js environment. You don't have to worry about that, and it will ask for your location. So the best way to run the service is use a location which is nearby your wherever you are living. So I'm living in India. I'm from India, so I'll just choose a location which is near to me. Uh, Now you have to show your real face too. Okay, so the locations tab is open. I'll just choose Southeast Asia and deploy it. So as you can see, you don't have to even go to the portal for creating an Azure function. So it is creating a storage account for me. It earlier created a functions app for me, and now if I go into the output console, I will see, as you can see, I am here. I can see the progress of it, and in a few seconds it should be done. Awesome. So it's currently at the last stage of the session. Do it quickly so that I can end this misery. Do it fast, guys. Do it fast. Don't make me watch it. I'm bad at saying this one. What happened to you, Azure? You go fast. After you are done with all those things and you have created all of that, do it, boy. Awesome. So I guess it's done. So that was it. You don't have to do anything. Yeah, it's deployed. Awesome. So that was it, I guess, guys. That was my session, and after you have deployed it, you can just paste in your URL over here and click the send button, and it should send you a random code. Ooh. Awesome. So sign. This is it. If you're still watching, you are still watching. Hello, 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 hello. Am I audible?
That is which word, Salman?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome counter past 100. Awesome.
It was easily more than 100.
Oh man.
Awesome.
So I tried my best, and resources were getting bad at that time, but I guess that was it, and I hopefully think that all of that was understood by you guys, and Bye, I guess.
Thank you so much, Ganesh, for being here and taking this session. Oh,
Okay, now,
what
so
happened?
you want to introduce the next guest speaker that we have?
Yeah, sure, of course. Thank you, Ganesh, first of all, for this session, and it was awesome. And you should just go back and check the YouTube chat where you see like
It
the
was
minute you were taking the.
awesome.
It was so
No
awesome,
words, just awesome.
just awesome. Okay, yeah, with double awesome, so
Credits
it
to
has awesome,
Salman.
awesome.
Thank you. It's just the love that you guys give. That is all, nothing else.
That is awesome. Yeah, thank you, Ganesh, for the session. It was really amazing. Okay, so we will be moving on to our next speaker. Now he is Olumide Ugunde. He is a Go student partner from Nigeria and also a software engineering intern at InterSwitch Group. Now he's a React JS developer and Angular JS developer too, and loves to work with Microsoft Bot Framework. So I actually got to know about him on the MSP Inspire podcast, and he is really amazing. His story is really, really amazing. And if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely check out that one, the podcast. Now he is also like a Microsoft certified professional, so I think he would be really amazing for this next session, which is about Microsoft Bot Framework. Smriti, are you there?
Hi everyone.
Yes, I'm
Just to be
here.
sure you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great, great.
Hey.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting me. I'm so glad to be here. I've been seeing the great stuff you guys have been doing. Day one, day two. I think this is day three, and you guys have been impacting lives. That was actually what attracted me to saying I want to be part of this. I love innovation. I love inspiration. I love when people teach about tech and impact a large number of people. So yeah, I'm really glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me on board. So yeah, I won't really be wasting much of our time. I just really want to introduce you guys to Microsoft Bot Framework and the awesome stuff you guys can do with it. So yeah, a little bit of preface to what we will be doing today. I'll be talking about what a bot is, components of a bot, and I'll be showing you some stuff we built in my community using the Microsoft Bot framework. So yeah, that's pretty much what we will be doing today. I think um, most of this you guys know already. Um, yeah, the moderator did an awesome job introducing me. So yeah, good student partner from Nigeria. My software engineering intern at InterSwitch. I'm a Microsoft certified professional on Azure. Then I'm Windows insider. I love to impact lives, impact communities, and right now most of my impact have been in Nigeria and Europe, Middle East and Africa. I would love to bring up that impact to the global level, and one of the reasons why I'm a part of this. So yeah, I think we should just dive straight into what we will be doing today. I won't be taking much of our time. So yeah, what is the bot? Basically today in our day-to-day activities, in all that we do, as students, in our various homes, um, even in the Microsoft Student Partner program, there are lots of tasks that are available for us to do, and most times we fall behind schedule doing these tasks. And why not just have a bot? So basically, bots are programmed to perform this task for us. Why do you want to stress yourself to do this task when you could just bring up a bot to help you do it? And the idea is you don't need a human to actually keep doing this task. You could actually bring a bot to do it. And most times you have this task coming concurrently. So for example, and most times they repeat themselves also. So imagine you get to do the same thing over and over again. That's insane, man. You could just bring up a bot to do that for you. So yeah, lots of those repetitive tasks and so many other things that humans do. That's the idea of the bot, and that's the reason why the bot came up. So every day in our day-to-day life, we learn and use technology. We use technology to do a lot of the stuff that we do. Before we didn't, there was no television. Now we have TVs, we have internet, we have all these things. These are innovations from technology, and yeah, we learn these things. But why not teach technology to learn about us also? It is important that technology is part of our coordinating, part of our observing, part of what we do in anticipating things. It's part of us as we listen to stuff. It's very important that we let technology learn about us. If you see a lot of shifts that have been happening from time past, from 1980 up to present 2020. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the future when I talk about 2020, I have to bring up the whole pandemic thing together with it also. So yeah, when we look at this switch between what has been happening, we saw that at some point in 1990 we had internet, mobile phones came in 2000, and these things, what is actually driving, what these things are driving into is conversations. And it is really important because conversation is part of our day-to-day activities, part of our day-to-day lifestyle, and all that we do. And this is the reason why we need to focus on chatbots in recent time and even for the future. Chatbots bring conversation as a platform for us. It's an opportunity for us to be able to communicate and not just go to probably a website and start following steps or looking at stuff. But chatbot brings that conversation, that physical conversation of you asking a question, someone answering. It brings that experience to us as humans. So many places where people will need to communicate with others. For example, the customer care agents where they have to attend to calls. We can actually have bots do these things for us. So what are the components of a bot? Yeah, when you see a bot, there are lots of components that make up that bot. So for example, you have a website, then way below in the bottom you see something pop up, say a live agent that wants to chat with you, then see them asking questions and you answering those questions. You can see from my slide there on the dialogue part, you can see for you to be able to interact with the bot, the user interface that you see is the dialogue. So everything you see that the bot uses to communicate with you, that is what we call the dialogue. Intent is basically a way for us to understand what your bot user is trying to say. So by default, when the user tells you, I would like to book a flight, the computer itself is not smart enough to understand that you actually meant you need to book a flight. So you need intelligence to be able to tell it that this is what you mean. And that's the idea of having intent attached to a bot. So intents are basically a way for us to understand what the user is trying to say. And the idea of having intents is to bring in the whole power of Azure AI into our bots to make it work well. And I'll be talking about that later in the slide. Yeah, entities are also keywords that you can pick out from bot conversations. So for example, I say, what's the weather like in France? The keywords there are the weather and the country. And country in this case is France. So these are basic components that you will need to actually build your bot. Now I talked about dialogue in the initial slide, that it's the UI you see, the user interface you see while chatting with the bot. So let's see a quick walkthrough of how a dialogue looks like. So here I have a chatbot. First thing first, it spins the main dialogue, which is like the default dialogue. Ask a question, would you like to make payment or check balance? I try to select the first option, which is make payments, please. And if you look at this, by default, if I don't program the bot to bring up another dialogue, the bot will just stay there and will not continue the conversation. But in this quick walkthrough, I have another dialogue that does make payments. So at this point, it's going to spin up the dialogue, make payments. And what that will do is to bring up or initialize the flow of making payments into my bot. So to ask you a quick questions about your account, ask you who would you like to pay? That's the account, asking you how much you want to pay. And from there, it has the basic details you need to pay, and that's all. You've made payments. Imagine you can do this with a chatbot and not having to go to your mobile app or wherever you are going to actually make those payments, even without this whole nice conversation flow. So this is the future that people want to do. This is what people need. We see even during this lockdown, most of the activities you see are on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Twitter. Why is this happening? This is happening because the world is actually majorly focusing on conversations. And that is why we are bringing in these chatbots to you, that you really need to learn this and understand how this works. And right now, we are done with giving this person value. You can bring up the main dialogue again and pick the second option, which does the check account balance. And that will ask you if you are using like a current or a savings account. And that's all. It will continue the dialogue until it gives you value for what you want to do. And right now, we just explained what dialogue is. And dialogue is one major part of component of the bot. Straight up, I'll move to the next part. So I was talking about a bot not being intelligent by default because the computer cannot understand what you are trying to say. So you need to add intelligence to a bot for it to be intelligent enough to understand what you are saying. And this is not just for it to understand what you are saying, but also to bring that amazing experience while building a bot. So for example, you could integrate computer vision into your bot. And what that would do is to help you to recognize and analyze images. I could bring face API. Imagine you chat with a bot and first things first, it checks your face and says, hey, that's not Salman, that's Ganesh. And you'll be like, whoa, how did you know that? You could just do that by just looking at your face. Yes. So there are lots of things like you could be chatting with a bot and the bot will understand at that moment that you're actually feeling sad. And the bot could help to console you at that moment and help you like be like your partner at that moment. The bot could also integrate video, speaker recognition, speech, lots of AI tools on Azure that you could integrate with your bot. I'll quickly run through this. Yeah, so you could see lots of services, AI tools you could actually integrate with your bot. And this really helps to bring that amazing experience into how your bot behaves. I'll be quickly talking about LUIS. Sorry about that. Yeah, so LUIS is Language Understanding Intelligence System. And LUIS is what helps you to add intelligence to your bot. It helps you to understand what the user is trying to say. So for example, if you look at the very first one there, I can see who is John. When the user types that, it is very hard for the computer to understand what John is. By default, John could be type of food. John could be a country, whatever. But LUIS allows you to actually configure these entities such that when you type in who is John, the bot will be able to understand that John is a human and it's the name of somebody. And that way, you can process John as name of someone and look through the database to see who John actually is. And that's your idea of having LUIS attached to your bot. It also helps to extract entities. It helps to detect your intent. So, for example, when you say who is John, LUIS understands that you are trying to inquire about John and who he is and every other information we want to get. And entity extraction is just saying you now the bot needs to understand that the kind of entity John is, which in this case John is a name. And same goes for the other examples you can see in this slide. So now QMA maker. Today, the problems people fix are a bit even more complex than all these things you see. And there are various ways you can actually group and solve these problems for them using the bot framework. And Q&A maker is one way for you to be able to solve frequently asked questions. So, for example, you see people keep asking questions about the MSP program, like how can I be a Microsoft student partner? You could bring up all these frequently asked questions, have answers for them, then I'll put them in have like a file for them. And the idea is such that when someone asks those kind of questions, it should try to look through these questions you have. If it finds it, it maps it to the right answer and gives it to you. And that would not stress you from doing much work in building the bot. So yeah, if you really want to know about Q&A maker, yeah, that's the link qnamaker.ai. So yeah, bots can interact with more than just text. Most of the things you've been seeing around has been around text, ask questions, answer questions. There are lots of amazing UI you can also see. I can hear someone say animations, right? Yeah, animations are coming way into chatbots pretty soon. But yeah, you can do build a lot of UI into your chatbots. You would see that in a second. So yeah, that for example, it's a UI of a flight receipt. So flight information, where you're going to, where you're coming from. That's some UI. Whoa, lots of other UI. So yeah, you can see lots of other UI. Yeah, and this is one project I'm currently working on. I hope one day I get to showcase it, like a personal chatbot assistant that brings up all my notifications for me. So you could just come, hey, someone just sent you a pull request on GitHub. You want to approve or reject? And I click it, and it takes me back and helps me do whatever I need it to do. And yeah, I could, and that for that I'll need to integrate Azure Function, which Ganesh talked about recently. Sorry, before my talk. So if you can see here, there are lots of really nice UI from here, like so yeah, you could see source about news, even graphical UI, e-commerce, and some other stuff. So building a bot, what do you need to build a bot? How can you make use of Microsoft Bot Framework to build a bot? So yeah, for Microsoft Bot Framework, there's something called the Bot Builder SDK. And Bot Builder SDK is an open source SDK. You can find it on GitHub, and that will help you to build your bot. It has all the basic functions you need to build a bot. All you just need to do is to import it into your project and call the functions that will build the bot straight up. I will be showing you one of the bots we built and how we built it. So for the bot builder SDK, you could use JavaScript or .NET or Python. And for .NET, you have to use C# for it. And they have lots of amazing features in the bot builder SDK, like image support, card support, video support, form flow support, and some other stuff. So you could be imagining that how do you build a bot? How do you get to test it? Since it's very hard, you might not be able to test it in a web view, whatever. So the bot framework has a bot framework emulator, which simulates that bot experience and allows you to test your bot locally. I'll be showing you that also. So yeah, you need to register your bot on Azure before you can be able to deploy it. And you could use, and there are lots of AI tools that I've said earlier, like the Louis, sentence diagramming, and some other stuff. So yeah, this is an example of how the bot builder SDK looks on Python. I think this is version 4. So channels you can actually integrate your bot on. You can integrate your bot on Microsoft Teams, Slack, Skype, Cortana, Facebook Messenger, web chat, direct line, and so many other stuff. Yeah. So yeah, quick demo. So yeah, for this demo, I think I'll be sharing my desktop. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, for the quick demo, I think first off, I would like to show you guys um this. So for you to build a basic EchoBot, there is a documentation here that shows you straightforward way of building the EchoBot. So for example, here we have that of C Sharp, Python, and Java. And first off, what you need to do is to, sorry, just a moment. So yeah, you need to create a folder, then do npm install. npm init first. So npm init basically for those that do JavaScript, will help you generate your package of JSON, and npm install your bot builder. And the idea of having of the bot builder is the bot builder has all the functions you need. Is that an SDK that has all the functions you need to build your bot. And you can start it and have it run like this. It's that straightforward. So here I'll be showing you the bot built with Node.js. So here my community at University of Lagos, Nigeria, we built a COVID-19 bot, and I'll just briefly showing you how what we did and the awesome stuff you can also do. So yeah, this is just a basic Node.js application that so yeah, I'll just quickly show you the demo. So in Node.js, the bot framework works like normal API calls. So if I start this application, it starts the server and listens. As I've said earlier, there is a Microsoft bot framework emulator that allows you to test your bots on your local. So here I'm on local host, as you can see, local host, and my local host is connected to my Node.js application here. So first off, I already told the bot, first things first, show me this message, welcome to COVID-19 bot, whatever. And that's what I'm seeing here, right? So you have like a place where I put all my dialogues. This might look a lot, and that's why it's just an introduction, just to show you what you can do with the bot framework. So yeah, here are all my dialogues. I know I talked about various dialogues I can use, various ways you can actually show dialogues. So here are all my dialogues. So if I type any key here, it shows me a card and options. And where is that coming from? So if you check out my file here, I have functions that show different things and different UI. And these functions, I'm using them by importing these libraries from the bot builder SDK. So you have a create hero function, create thumbnail function. All these functions are the ones that actually create this UI that you are seeing. So if you check out that, you would see what is showing my card here. So what this bot does basically is to ask you series of questions, and from there it will tell you your chances of having COVID-19 virus. So yeah, I'll quickly just go through the bot, answer some of the questions. And yeah, there are lots of ways to actually show the user what you really want to get. And that's why for this case, images are really important, because a lot of people don't know what it is to have some of these symptoms like headache. They need to see picture for a better view of what you're talking about. So we have sore throats. The images might not be loading well because my internet here is slow. So yeah, diarrhea, I think some other questions. So I think code, I think that is the last one. Take a cough. So yeah, it asks for some confirmation to be sure that what you type is what you are saying. I type yes, and it tells me what happens. So yeah, it tells me the possibility of me having is medium. Things I can do: stay home, clean your hands often, avoid close contact, clean and disinfect, and avoid crowded areas. So yeah, that's pretty much what this does. And this is one of those things you can actually do with the Microsoft Bot framework. And there are lots of other stuff you can do with it. So I think I'll just go back to my slides. And yeah, there are lots of resources I've added to this slide. I'll be sharing the slide so you guys should have it. So yeah, C Sharp, .NET, here is the documentation to actually do all the things you need to do. You can follow the documentation. They are quite straightforward. There's Python, there's JavaScript. Then I talked about LUIS to language understanding integrated system, then QNA makers. And yeah, for students, you actually be needing an Azure account to deploy a chat bot. So this is the link to activate your Azure for students. And for students, you get $100 on Azure. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you for joining this session. It's meant to be introduction, so I really want to see the amazing stuff you guys do with bot framework, and you can try to like anything you do. I really want to see it. And if you have questions, you could tag me on Twitter. I think Twitter and I'll drop it here. So yeah, thank you guys for joining this session. I really hope you guys learned a lot from it. So right now, if there are any questions, sure, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you so much. It was such a great session. Yeah, and like people were appreciating you so much that they like completely forgot about that. Like people were continuously talking about how great the session is going on with you. So thank you so much for being a part of this. Now, let's see if we do have any questions though. Everyone is saying that you are awesome.
That's really great. Thanks for having me. You guys are
Looks
awesome.
like I don't think we do have questions on the chat though, but I would love to like tag your social handles in there, so in case when they try our bot framework themselves, so if they like face any kind of problem, so they can like seek help from you, and like they can ask questions directly to your the social handles.
Yeah, I will drop that on the YouTube chat. Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
will. I'll also drop my
Yes.
link in there. Yeah, I'll do that now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think that they do not have any questions. Thank you so much for joining in with us here tonight. It was amazing.
Thank you. We hope to do more of this, man. I would really love to see what I can do to preach about bot framework, Azure AI generally. I love to speak about those technologies.
Yeah, I know, I heard your story in the podcast and it was so inspiring. Like I can't, explain enough how much I enjoyed it, and I frequently visit the podcast whenever like I want some motivation. So you were amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thank you for
joining in
joining
with us.
us.
Go.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So, okay, I think we are done with all the sessions for today or tonight, wherever you're watching it from. Now, I think we will be moving on to the much awaited Kahoot quiz, which is basically about what? I forgot. Let me check. So it's about all the topics which we discussed today. So it has Git, it has Cloud, it has Azure, basically. So you will find more questions from Git and Cloud, and then you'd have a lot of questions from Azure as well. So I hope you guys enjoy it. There are like 12 questions from Kahoot. So I'll share my screen now, and I hope you can see this. Okay, awesome. Now I will be sharing the Kahoot quiz link on the chat, on the live chat. and you guys can join in. So this is the quiz link. I hope you have received it on the chat. Let me know if that's on the chat, right?
It's on chat.
Okay, thank you. So also let me give the game pin, so in case people want to log in from Kahoot.it. So okay, so I have provided the link. Let me shift it here, and yeah, that should be visible. And let me see who has logged in and who hasn't. Okay, awesome. So we have the Kahoot quiz link on the chat. Now, if this is your first time playing Kahoot, you can go directly to the link and Kahoot quiz will open for you. But if you want to do it with a pin, you can open kahoot.it and then you can just type in the pin and you'll get redirected into the game. So yeah, go ahead and enjoy the game. I'll play a very nice background music for all of you. And we'll also be displaying the results live on the screen. Now this quiz is open till 12 a.m., like till midnight. So we want things to be like, whatever we have learned in this session. So we want things to be fresh and so that you can enjoy the quiz right after the session. We don't keep it like for a day or two. So the quiz is open till midnight. You can play it any time before that. So let's just go ahead and play the game. And thank you all for joining, and I hope you enjoy the game. Oh, no. We'll just wait for it. I'm having an advertise. Just a minute.
That music
Netflix.
was soft music for the Kahoot quiz. We'll play it for like 10 minutes and then we'll close the stream.
Yeah, but that was Netflix. Is this me who's playing this soft? Oh, why am I playing this? My bad. Yeah, sorry. It isn't audible. Oh, okay. You can try that. Let me pause it. Yeah, just a minute. Let me pause this. Okay. Let me share that on Teams. I am not sure. I think it is. It's okay. Just
Salman, you can give a sneak peek of your next music that you will be playing for the podcast, maybe?
saying that. You're just saying it.
That's a good idea, sir. I like that. Yeah. Let's go.
I've shared it on Teams. You can just play that one. That's a really good beat. There's no issue. What? Oh, okay, it's cool. Okay. You have to press control, I guess. Yeah, it's up. But the screen is yeah, the Kahoot installed this music song. Yeah, we want the result for a minute or two. Yeah, the music is audible. Yeah, we need a screen though for the displaying the results.
Salman, can you directly patch the audio through OBS and we can show the screen through Teams? Does that work?
Let me just play it. It's okay, I think. Yeah, it's kind of better. Everyone can like see it for a minute or two, and then they can just sign up. Hey, someone is named hashtag. Oh, Ganesh wants on and on. Should I play that? Yeah, this is for Ganesh.
This song is really good though.
Yeah, this is NCS too, so you don't worry about copyright. Really? This is a really nice song.
Isn't this copyrighted, by the way?
Hey, this is from NCS, so don't worry about it.
Cool, cool, cool.
Hey, Saman, are you playing too? I can see Ganesh though. Are you playing too? No, I can see Ganesh, and then just below that, there is someone called Gat. Gat is awesome.
I think awesome was taken, that's why they couldn't get awesome.
Too bad. Gats is awesome is not playing anymore.
How is there no motto though?
What?
So no one named Smorto. Salman,
There
go
is
for it.
no. No, I swear
There has to be
it
someone.
wasn't me. It wasn't me in that
There
stream.
has to be
The person
someone.
who named themselves Mortal wasn't me.
Who would know? Who else
Surprisingly,
knows?
I'm guessing it was Shabam. I'm just
Aren't you Shubham?
guessing. Okay, you need a timeout. But I was the one that had no name. Remember that I have no
How
name? That was me. I had no idea who Smorto is.
you did worse than Smorto, I'm just saying.
Song request.
I
Song request.
wasn't playing.
And what did you see your name was no name?
I just
Should I
wanted to
just
look at the
play? Should I
questions
just play the Game of
and
Thrones
like look at
theme?
the rank, just because like Ganesh said that you should join.
San, I think you should end the stream by showing them the answers so that they know the answers. I mean, just generally. Maybe.
Showing them the answers. How do you
After
do it?
after a
You
while,
need
after a
to.
while. After a while. Not now. Let them play in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably you
You
play
know
as
you.
and like let them see.
What? No, no. I'm not gonna do that on live stream. I'm not gonna see. Not gonna let them see me fail.
I thought he said the question, you should know the answers. What is this, Sam?
Come on, come on. I do. I just don't wanna do this on live stream.
Oh. Why isn't Salman doing this? Salman, what is this?
Yes, Saman should be. No,
Oh.
Saman.
Salman, don't worry. We have an hour. I think the quiz is open till 12. We have an hour. It's okay. Just tweet away and then we'll be waiting for you.
Yeah, Saman can share the screen and
I know. Complete life.
I'm trying to find a nice song. Or how about this? Oh no, no, this isn't that.
What a shame that I didn't see your face in the moment is the moment gone.
How do you know all of these songs? Come on.
Done, lean in closer.
I love these songs. Come on.
Forever, but I hope it never ends.
I love this artist though. I love Mokita, Nurko, and all of them.
Get lost tonight. Breathe in.
Code was on fire, man.
Should we
Code.
end this stream?
Gone with the sun. There's no
I think a lot of people are stuck or something. I think we should end the stream here.
me tonight.
Ganesh is stuck. Yo, Ganesh.
You can take all you want from me tonight. Feel my heart beating faster when I'm standing in place. This is something I don't wanna lose, not alone, but no one's watching us anyways. If you're willing, then I'm willing to closer.
Alright, Sad, let Salman host and we'll see him answer the questions. What do you say?
Yeah. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
hell yeah, hell
I'll
yeah. Yeah, let's go.
I'll just stop screen sharing right away.
Good job.
What, you be speaking for Girl Script? Wow.
Just Salman
Okay.
thinks.
Oh, just Salman things. No, come on.
I just talk, it's fine. Don't worry about
Yeah, Girl Script is only for India though, so it's like it's good. It's good. It's surprising. Mhm. Yeah, I think we should stop the stream right now.
I agree. Wait, just sit bye to everyone and wait for a few seconds and cut because YouTube cuts part of your stream.
Yeah, of course. Let's just reload this for the one last. Yeah, sure. I'll just stop this. Wait a minute. Oh, come on. Come on, Teams. Hey, just take the screen, okay? There you go. I think it worked. Yeah, there you go. Cool. No problem. Did you try sharing your
Hey,
screen though? Because it
early in the
wasn't.
morning, Salman, what even? 5:30 a.m. in the morning. That's what he said, right?
That was TMZ. It's at 11:30 in the morning for IST, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We all should say bye now. So let me see once a minute. Yeah, okay. So thank you guys, everyone who joined today for being with us, and thank you everyone who joined in the MSP Tech Stream all the 3 days. And it was amazing having all of you. And we really loved hosting you. We really loved gathering all the amazing people to talk. And we had like so many sessions where we could inspire you. We could teach you something which we know, and that was really awesome. And we would love to do this kind of thing again. And if we do, we'll certainly let you know. And thank you all with very heartily thank you, because this event was so successful because of all of you. You want to add something to that, Smriti?
No, just thank you for joining us and thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye. All of you have a really great day or a great night wherever you're logging in from. And that's all from our side. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.
Bye bye.